Hello, my name is Christina Calph, and this is my crazy love story. So I met my boyfriend at a Snapple promotion. I'm an actress, but I work for Snapple part-time. It's like doing promotions for them and helping give people free Snapple. And he came up and he wanted a free Snapple, and I made him bob for Snapple because I thought he was cute. And then we started to talk, and I was like, oh, this guy's really nice. And I'm a big believer in signs and like zodiac signs, and also like when things happen, like deja vu, and like when things happen, like I don't know, if they could happen in a past life or something like that. So when he was talking to me, I got this phone call from the casting director. I'm an actress, from of Tower Heist, telling me that I got the role. So I'm like, I knew that this guy was going to be good luck. This guy was it. That whatever he wanted a date. I was down for it. So he texted me like a few hours later, and then we just became inseparable. We from that moment on, he was my best friend. We did everything together. And now I'm hick. I'm from like a really hick town like outside of Buffalo, and he's Jewish. So he's New York Jewish. So he and I had totally different upbringings, totally different friends. And so he was introducing me to this world that I never ever experienced. So like a fancy night out for me was like going to Applebee's and like cow tipping after, but like he we were going to like events, like financial events, because he worked in finance, and like with all these like really up and coming people, or book signing events, or like premieres. And it was really cool getting to experience that, especially we're the same age. So it was with people like all around the same age as me who had completely different upbringings. And it was just a really cool experience. I felt like Cinderella living in the city. And it was amazing. And then one day we dated for a year, and in that, like the later half, he was like, I want to go to business school. I want to go to school for entertainment. So I'm like, oh, this is wonderful, like perfect. I'm an actress. I'm trying to start my own production company. So like this will be the perfect match. Well, he didn't get into any of the schools on the East Coast, but he did get into a couple schools on the West Coast, and he chose to go to UCLA. Now I'm a New Yorker. I'm not really keen on LA. Anybody who says that the weather is like the highlight of an area, clearly there's something wrong going there, because there's not a lot going on. And I like the busy lifestyle of New York, and I loved our life in New York. So, but whatever, I'm like, it's only 2 years. I don't mind, whatever. So we did long distance for 2 years, and that was very, very difficult. But I would go there, and then he would come here, and we'd visit, and we'd talk. Well, at the end, he's got to try to find a job, and he got a job with a really good company out of LA, and he'd have to live in LA. And this was not something that I wanted to sign up for. I did not want to move to LA. I wanted our life back in New York, and I'm just like, no, no, no. So, I have his password to his email and stuff like that. So I checked his email, and I saw that like I was just, when I'm bored or just wanting to look at his stuff, I just like went through, and I saw that the company was doing a drug test, and he was coming home for his cousin's wedding. So I'm like, kind of put two and two together, like if I just like drug him or whatever, like do whatever, that he'll be able to come back to New York, and he could try to find a job here. Not a big deal, whatever. So he comes back, and I'm like, oh, we gotta celebrate. Oh, I deleted the email that like said that he got that they're gonna do the drug test, so he didn't know. So when he came to New York, I was like, oh my god, we gotta celebrate, we gotta rage, we gotta go all out. And we smoked and just had our fun. And the next day, just to make sure, I made pot brownies. Like, I just made sure he was entirely high the entire weekend that he was in New York. So when he went back, he calls me, and he's like, oh my god, we had a surprise drug test, and I'm really nervous because we smoked, all that, yada yada. And I was just like, oh no, that's terrible. And so long story short, he ends up getting the job offer taken away, and he tried to find work out in LA still, because he said that the career advisors and everything was based in LA, and he was going to try for New York too. And so he was still trying, but also trying in New York, but he couldn't find anything. And like word gets around that that happened. So he kind of just, kind of was screwed all over with his financial or the career advisors from the school and everything. So he ended up coming back, but he was insanely depressed. It was not like how I imagined. And partially why I think it was so much fun with him before is because he had that finance job and because we both were working and whatever, but now he came back and he was dependent on me. He didn't have a place to stay, he couldn't afford rent, so he was living with me. And it was just really sad and hard, which I started to feel so guilty because he tried so hard to find a job and he spent 2 years in business school, and like that Italian Catholic guilt was really getting to me. I'd have nightmares every night. I was like seeing things. I was just so upset with what I had done to him. So finally I came clean and I was like, listen, I saw that you were getting a drug test, and I want to be honest with you because I don't think there should be any secrets. And I was like, I saw that you were getting it drug tested, and I purposely got you high so you couldn't, because I wanted our life in here. I tried to explain I really loved our life. I want to get married. I have kids with you. I just did not want our life in LA. I'm not an LA person. And he was white. He couldn't believe what I was saying to him. He thought I was being an asshole, joking, and I wasn't. No, I'm very serious. I did this to you, and I feel so guilty about it. I can't live with myself anymore. And he just, shock turned into rage, and then he left the next day, and I didn't see him since. He lost complete contact. He wanted nothing to do with me, to leave me from Facebook, block me from Facebook. And this is now 3 years of being together, and it was my whole world. And I wasn't very close with his parents. I don't think they were keen on the whole shiksa thing, but I tried to do whatever I could, took to his friends. I was like death. I was like the devil. And I don't blame him in a way, because I think that was really awful what I did, and I couldn't live with myself. So I started to think of things that I could do to make it better. And so I thought, I tried to call his school and say, I'm the one that drugged him and I purposely set him up for this, and they just thought I was crazy. So then I went to the police station and I wanted to file a report on myself, turning myself in, basically saying that I drugged this guy, and they just laughed at me because they thought that what the hell are you, do we have bigger things to worry about? They just laughed, and I really was trying to push it. No, I really messed this guy's life up. I drugged him on purpose. Can I get some charge for drugging, or, something? I got access to this drugs, and they were not having it. They just were dying laughing. So, that didn't work out. And so then I remembered that there was this entertainment lawyer that I had met back in the day who was kind of skeevy and was wanting to wine and dine me, this, that, and the other. And I think at one point wanted to pay me for sex, and I was not into it. But I remembered he's very well connected, and I thought, okay, you know what, maybe he can help me, because my ex-boyfriend was going into entertainment, so I figured, God, there's got to be some kind of luck, some kind of small world. The company that he got a job with is a big company, and I'm sure someone knows someone. There's got to be something. So I called the guy, and I went to dinner with him, and I told him the situation, and he was like, I actually know the CEO of that company, and I'll help you, but it's at a price. And it was not at a price that money. It was no money amount. So I agreed to whatever terms, but I said, as long as you get the job first, whatever you want, I will give you. And I don't know how he did it. I have no idea, but I found out through a mutual Facebook friend, because he blocked me from Facebook. So my friend, who was friends with my ex on Facebook, I found out that he got the job, and he was doing the job offer, and now he's ended up working there. And honestly, it killed me, because I did want to marry him and whatever, but at the same time I had that guilt of ruining someone's life, and I see, it makes me want to cry now. I could never want to ruin someone's life like that. I did not understand the consequences of my actions. And I'm glad that he got the job back, and hey, I got a sugar daddy out of it, so there's the positive. Thanks.